This is a solution video for question 8 from paper 2 of the 2019 TMUA or CTMUA exam. In this question we're asked to consider real numbers a, b and c such that a is less than b, is less than c, is less than 0. And then we're asked which of the following statements must follow from this. So statement 1, ac is less than ab less than a squared. 2, b lots of c plus a is greater than 0. Or statement 3, c over b is greater than a over b. And we're given various combinations of what sets of statements could follow, varying from none of them following to some pairs of them following to all three following. So how do we start this? Well, the key thing about this question is noticing this, that a, b and c are less than 0. So every time we're trying to derive some of these inequalities, we've got to make sure to flip all these inequalities around whenever we times or divide by a, b or c. So that's the key. So this first one, you'll notice that it looks a lot like the thing we started with, a less than b less than c. So for one, let's write out a less than b less than c. And we see all these terms will match the terms in here if we just times everything by a. So if we times everything by a, we need to flip the signs because a is negative. Get a squared is greater than ab is greater than ac. Which implies 1 follows because that is exactly what 1 says. So now 2. So b times c plus a is greater than 0. So if we know the sign of b and we know the sign of c plus a, we can deduce whether this is true or not true. And fortunately, the sign of b and c plus a we can work out. So we know b is less than 0 because we're just told it. And we know a is less than 0 and c is less than 0. So if we add two negative numbers together, we get a negative number. So a plus c is less than 0. And if we multiply two negative numbers, the result is positive. So we know b times a plus c is greater than 0, which is excellent because this implies that 2 is true. Finally, 3. So we've got c over b greater than a over b. So let's start with an inequality with a and c, and then we'll times through by 1 over and b and get something that either looks like this or is the opposite of it. So we know a is less than c. So let's times both sides by 1 over b. Because b is negative, 1 over b will be negative. So we need to flip the sign to get a over b is greater than c over b, which directly contradicts what statement 3 is. And so we know 3 does not follow. So 1 follows, 2 follows, 3 does not follow. So that matches with option E. So 1 and 2 only follow. And so our answer from the multiple choice is E.